Okay, Dana and I are going to be doing our presentation on AVID. So AVID stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. And just a little introduction as to what AVID is. It's a readiness program for elementary through higher education. It is designed to increase school-wide learning and performance. And not only is a readiness program, it is also a school improvement system that supports teachers and school leaders to raise the education outcomes of underachieving students. And part of that school improvement is that they teach 85,000 educators annually to prepare students for college, careers, and life. It's also a nonprofit organization that changes lives of innumerable people by helping schools shift to a more equitable, student-centered approach. AVID promotes rigor through WICR, which is a support structure that incorporates teaching and learning methodologies in critical areas such as writing, inquiry, collaboration, organization, and reading. It also increases student engagement through ownership, accountability, and critical thinking. And lastly, part of AVID is a foundational component called AVID Elementary, which focuses on 4 essentials that ensures students are poised for success. The first one is instruction, which includes WICR and learning to WICR, which is the foundation for that. Second is culture, and that incorporates rigorous, relevant, differentiated opportunities for students. Then leadership, which supports, guides, and facilitates implementation for all students. And finally, systems, which is the alignment of systems through the 4 pillars of excellence, which are accountability, articulation, assessment, and calibration. And this ensures fidelity. I am now going to pass the torch to Dana.
Thanks, Jalissa. So there was tons and tons of data to support using AVID in the classroom. AVID was first introduced in 1984 in San Diego and has grown and grown since then. Jalissa, if you can hit enter one time, we'll look at some national data. Nationally, we've got college enrollment rates at 2-year and 4-year universities have grown exponentially. If we look across the board, it is at least an average of 5 to 8% higher enrollment in 2- and 4-year colleges for Black or African students, Hispanic students, and white non-Hispanic students. College persistent rates, which is super important, a lot of AVID focuses on those executive functioning skills, have shown that by ethnicity, those Black, Hispanic, and white, again, all are above the national average, at least 8% above the national average for persisting and continuing year over year. As well, 94% of students enrolled in AVID complete a 4-year college entrance requirements. That is taking the ACT or the SAT and having those requirements to get into college. As well, 90% of those who apply directly to a 4-year university are accepted off the bat, and 84% of national students that have participated in AVID continue after their first year. Most importantly, since AVID is often focused on those first generation low income students, 42% of first generation low income AVID college students continue through that's 42% greater, continue on and get a 4-year than their peers of the same standards. That is where we're increasing not just their level of success at high school, but how they go on to perform at colleges and universities, and then become more productive members of society. If we're looking at Kansas alone, there are currently almost 10,000 students participating in AVID, and 65% of those have free and reduced lunch. It really, really targets our low income, non-white students that don't have parents that haven't gone to students, haven't gone to college. 93% of AVID Kansas seniors completed a 4-year college entrance requirements. Also, okay, so there's your national and your state average. Jalissa, could you hit enter 2 times, please? So great, that's AVID statistics. Well, what about other statistics out there that show, because we know AVID might skew how things are going. Well, the brief 2, one group did one group did a statistical analysis using the brief 2, which is a psychological measure of executive functioning skills. And that is that after 2 consecutive semesters in AVID, there was a statistical increase in students using having those executive functioning skills, those note-taking skills, since AVID focuses on Cornell skills, those skills of working together. Current AVID students improve their behavior skills, their cognitive skills, and results on the state assessment as compared to the control group of students. There's a multitude of research out there. If you want more of it after, when you're making your decision, I can give you more of it. The learning outcomes. So we know the statistics are good, but what are the learning outcomes? What do we expect students to know? First tab, Jalissa. Most importantly is that AVID students reflect and question while mastering content. It's all about that critical thinking. It's not about just memorization and putting the information on paper. Instead, students are taught to articulate what they don't understand and learn how to seek out the resources they need. They're being empowered again in that critical thinking. Also, AVID is student-centric. That is that students have to work together. They get to be able to move around. It engages students, that creates content mastery through that, again, that inquiry and collaboration. Back to that executive functioning, again, since it is so critical. All students need to learn how to think. We know this. They aren't born knowing how to think. So we learn note-taking, we learn studying and organizing assignments, learning how to use a proper agenda, making sure you're following up with your teachers if you're falling behind. Notes are guided, scaffolded, and supported from AVID educators. That's why it's important that we train our teachers. We don't just say, hey, this is a great program, let's start doing it. We have to train the teachers. Again, we know students would rather move around and talk and ask questions. So AVID classrooms promote success in school. AVID classrooms promote motion, communication, and team building. We use Socratic seminars, collaborative study groups, peer tutoring, and philosophical chairs. It is important that students work together. The goal, so with AVID in high school, every semester students take a class of AVID. It's an elective class they get credit for, and in that class they learn how to learn. Overall, we're providing students with research-based instructional strategies that can help reduce that student's risk of failure in school now or in the future. We're looking at those underrepresented groups. Okay, next slide, Jalissa. Okay, we know this has worked in the field. We have examples from all over the place. For example, in Oxnard Union High School District, 89% of students remain in college after 2 years. In Ramona High School in Riverside, California, in 1988, only 10 out of 325 graduates enrolled in a 4-year university. We fast forward a whole bunch of years of using AVID, and now all of Ramona's AVID classes there's 26% of students in the student body are part of AVID. They go on to college. Same thing with Evanston Township High School. Pura Unified, a district that I have worked in, 89% of AVID students who enrolled in college in the first fall after high school went on. 100% of AVID students graduated on time with a 3.2 GPA. 82% of those students had parents that didn't graduate from college, and now they're going there. We're making process, and I think this is something we need to adopt. If you look at the next 2 slides, we have lots and lots of references, and if you want more information, you know me, I always have that information for you. Feel free to reach out anytime. If you have questions, we want to adopt this, help us with it.